Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and the first ever Versus Night. Tonight, I will be comparing Eddie and the Cruisers from 1983 with Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives from 1989. Now, we'll start this with the leads. Eddie and the Cruisers from 1983 stars Tom Berenger and Ellen Barkin. Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives, stars Michael Pare and Marina Orsini. Now, I love Tom Berenger and Ellen Barkin. But Tom Berenger, I believe, was wasted in... It's a fine part for someone, but I don't think a man of his talent should have been playing this part. The part is not that exciting. It's kind of a boring role. He's not that interesting of a character to begin with. His character of Frank Ridgway is not really that impressive. He's not a very good, interesting character. And then they got the gorgeous Ellen Barkin in here playing this reporter, Maggie, and she is only there basically to set up suspicion for Tom Berenger to start an investigation into seeing if Eddie could possibly be alive and out there, trying to get his music back or whatever, trying to get people to give him his music back or whatever. It's just, it was a waste of Ellen Barkin and Tom Berenger's talents in there. Michael Pare in Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives. He is the lead in this, and as he should be. I mean, the original film was titled Eddie and the Cruisers, and Eddie Wilson himself, Michael Pare, was a supporting character who was only seen in flashbacks. In Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives, Michael Pare is given the opportunity to play the lead in this film and make Eddie a very interesting character, and he is great in this, as is his leading lady, Marina Orsini. So this one for me, this is going a 0.2, Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives, easy. All right, now let's move on to supporting cast. The supporting cast in Eddie and the Cruisers from 1983 is Michael Pare, Joe Pantoliano, Matthew Lawrence, Helen Schneider, and Kenny Vance. The supporting cast in Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives, is Bernie Colson, Matthew Lawrence, returning in his role as Sal, Anthony Sherwood, Mark Helms, and Harvey Atkin. I love Michael Pare in those flashback scenes in Eddie and the Cruisers as Eddie. He's fine in those scenes, but he's just stuck in these flashback scenes. Matthew Lawrence is a bit annoying playing Sal in the original film.
I want something great. I want something that nobody's ever done before. Why? We ain't great. We're just some guys from Jersey. If we can't be great, then there's no sense in ever playing music again, Sal.
Helen Schneider is playing Joanne, the girlfriend to Michael Pare, and then a love interest for Tom Berenger in the present day. And although she's a really good singer, I don't think she's that great of an actress. I think they should have flipped the reporter role that Ellen Barkin was playing with Helen Schneider's role as Joanne, and had Ellen playing Joanne instead. And then these flashback scenes and the later present day scenes with Joanne would be more interesting, because sadly the makeup to make the characters look older in the more present day 80s setting over the 50s or 60s setting in which Eddie is set in, they just don't look right. It's not very good makeup on them, especially what they did to poor Joe Pantoliano. I mean, he looks so bad in these sequences in present day. And it just looks ridiculous to me. Kenny Vance was playing Lou, the music producer, and Kenny Vance is the actual music supervisor and everything on this film and everything. And he did a great job in that role in this film. I don't know why in Eddie and the Cruisers 2 they had Harvey Atkin playing that role in there. They could have brought back Kenny Vance to reprise his role, but they didn't do it for whatever reason. But the other cast in the supporting cast in Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Bernie Colson is annoying, but I don't think he's as annoying as Matthew Lawrence was as Sal in the regular Eddie and the Cruisers movie. He is pretty cool in certain scenes as the character of Rick Diesel. Rick Diesel he has his moments where he upsets you and annoys you, but at the end of the day, he is a very good character, and he learns from Eddie in the film. So that's his overall performance being annoying works in the manner of him becoming a better person. Whereas Matthew Lawrence in the original, he's constantly arguing with Michael Pere's Eddie, and he never learns anything, because in the present day setting that you see him in the 80s, he is getting to do everything he wants because Eddie is supposed to be dead. He's not there to tell him, hey, no, you need to be doing this way. So he's doing everything his way. And so he never learns, unlike what we get with Bernie Colson's Rick in Eddie and the Cruisers 2. Now, Matthew Lawrence's performance in Eddie and the Cruisers 2 is much, much better than it was in Eddie and the Cruisers, in my opinion. Anthony Sherwood plays Hilton Overstreet. Is excellent. He plays this saxophonist that Eddie meets, and his performance in here is so good, in my opinion. He's one of the standouts in this cast.
Then it's a good thing I'm quitting.
You're not quitting now, Eddie. You owe it to this band. You brought them this far. They deserve another chance.
So, this is another one. I mean, this one's a little bit tougher than the leads for me, but I'm going to give the point to Eddie and the Cruisers 2 on this one. All right. Now we get to story. Eddie and the Cruisers from 1983 is a mystery film, first and foremost. Now, the flashback scenes to Eddie's early years as an artist are very interesting scenes. They're very well done. They're very good. The present day stuff is kind of boring. And this mystery element where, Tom Berenger is investigating. It's just, I was never intrigued with it. I was never interested in any of that. I love the flashback scenes. I wished that Eddie and the Cruisers would have been just a character study of Eddie and how he came up with the band, Eddie and the Cruisers, and their struggles to become stars. Now, if you compare Eddie and the Cruisers to Eddie Lives, it's no longer a mystery film. It is a character study, studying how Eddie forms this new band and helps them to work their way up and become a big band. And to me, that is the better story than what we got with the original film with this mystery element. Like I said, I love the flashback scenes with Michael Pare and everything, with the exception of Sal as a character, because he was just annoying as a character in there. He was constantly arguing with Eddie, and it's just he just irked the hell out of me. The story with Eddie too, with him meeting Bernie's Rick, and then joining together to form a new band, not just sticking with his original band that he had, but they go out and they work to get other members to the band that Eddie sees promise in. I mean, it just works so well in the story. So, I'm going to give this point to Eddie and the Cruisers too, as well. I think it had the better story. All right. Now we move to songs. All right. So the songs in Eddie and the Cruisers.
On the dark side. Oh, yeah. Whoa, 10 years. One summer nights, baby. Down on my neck.
They are really good songs. I really do like them. And then peppered in there, they have these Betty Lou's Got a New Pair of Shoes and everything. They got these, old classics that they were doing for the film, and it just I wasn't really I didn't really like any of those songs. I like more of the original songs that were done by John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band, as opposed to these covers of other songs. Oldies but goodies, and Betty Lou's Got a New Pair of Shoes. I mean, it's just, I don't care about any of those songs. Whereas Eddie and the Cruisers too, it had
It's just a matter of time. Fire for you, ready or not. Meet me out tonight on the open road. Come right and give me some touch, you. It was the Garden of Eden, the beginning of time. Just give it what you got, some like it hot. Talk about the pride and passion and the thrill of it all. Going to New York City, this guitar in my
so many good songs are in this film, and they're all original. There's nothing in there. Even Emotional Storm, which is a scene in the flashbacks when Eddie is thinking back to his time with Wendell, when they performed with all these big artists in this jam session. Even that song was an original song, and it was really good, really well done. I think John Cafferty's songs in, as much as I do love the original songs, like, On the Dark Side, Tender Years, Wild Summer Nights, and Boardwalk Angel, just don't think they compare to what John Cafferty did for Eddie and the Cruisers 2. So yeah, this one I'm going to give to Eddie and the Cruisers 2 as well. Alright, so if you've been keeping track, that comes to our final tally. And Eddie and the Cruisers 2 has gotten a clean sweep of all 4 points for this versus night. I really do like Eddie and the Cruisers, but I'm sorry. There's nothing in the film that can hold a candle, in my opinion, to Eddie and the Cruisers 2. Eddie lives. What do you guys think? Do you agree with my versus rankings here? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And don't forget, while you're by the subscribe button, to click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. All right. Hope you have enjoyed this first versus night. And I hope you will join me tomorrow for another horror movie night. Thanks for watching.